It's the winning billion-dollar Powerball ticket.
Powerball jackpot is now $1 billion.
This is my day to win.
His newest multi-millionaire after claiming one of the biggest lottery jackpots in history.
So God, please let me win.
God wants you to be rich.
God wants me to be rich.
Imagine the dim lights of a corner store. People huddle around buying lottery tickets. Each ticket is like a small boat, hoping to carry someone to a life of luxury. This tiny slip holds the potential to rewrite their entire story. Lottery looks easy to people. You pay a little and dream of a lot. And in this huge crowd, Americans are the biggest dreamers. According to a survey, Americans spent $113 billion last year on lotteries. 49% of adults in the US reported buying lottery tickets, making it by far the most popular form of gambling in the US. Americans spend more on lottery tickets than on movies, video games, and concerts combined. But winning is rare, and losing can feel like falling into a dark hole. Lotteries are a gamble, a chance to touch something amazing with the risk of losing everything. It's easier to sell dreams to the poor than to the rich. Maybe that's why the lowest income households in the US spend an average of $412 per year on lottery tickets, more than 4 times what the highest income households are spending. This seems absurd because lottery tickets are losing propositions statistically. But can we really blame those less fortunate for rolling the dice if they stand little chance of ever being wealthy? The lottery feeds into their dreams. For a few bucks, they get a chance to win millions, to finally quit their day job, travel the world, or finally buy that mansion with a pool. You must be thinking that they are poorer countries in the world. Then why are the Americans on top of this list? Well, the history behind the lottery system in the US goes way back. Americans have a long and storied relationship with the lotteries, fueled by a potent combination of optimism, the desire for social mobility, and a sprinkle of historical precedent.
So I decided to start playing regular numbers. I don't eat lunch, so I always said, hey, I'll spend my lunch money on lottery tickets. It's a better investment than getting fatter, right?
The very first authorized lottery in the American colonies took place in 1745. Founding fathers like George Washington and Benjamin Franklin saw lotteries as a way to fund vital public projects. Roads, bridges, even prestigious universities like Harvard and Yale were built with lottery money. According to sources, in 1748, Benjamin Franklin organized a lottery in Philadelphia to help fund the establishment of a militia for defense against marauding attacks by the French. John Hancock ran a lottery to help build Boston's Faneuil Hall. And in 1767, George Washington ran a lottery to build a road in Virginia over a mountain pass. These early experiences ingrained the idea of lotteries as a way to not only win big, but also contribute to the common good. In the late 1800s, Puritans viewing gambling as a dishonor to God led to prohibition of gambling, and it also started to turn the tide against all forms of gambling. Corruption also worked against lotteries during this period of time. Lottery organizers could simply sell tickets and abscond with the proceeds without awarding prizes. Despite the prohibition, the Louisiana Lottery Company, a private enterprise, sold tickets well beyond the state borders, with only about 7% of the company's revenue coming from Louisiana. However, in 1890, Congress banned the interstate promotion and sale of lottery tickets that forced the Louisiana Company to shut down. The company then moved to Honduras after the federal government passed laws banning the sale of lottery tickets. By 1894, legal lotteries were no longer held in the US.
General Eisenhower informs me that the forces of Germany have surrendered to the United Nations.
After World War II, Americans enjoyed great prosperity. This allowed states to increase state services without raising taxes.
Inflation is not new. It has existed since ancient times and has hit nearly every country in the world. We must lick inflation.
Things started to become rough in the 1960s with inflation due to increased spending on the Vietnam War. But the people had tasted blood. They still wanted all the services they have gotten used to without having to pay higher taxes. The states were desperate to have a source of income other than taxes. New Hampshire, one of the only 3 states at the time without a sales or income tax, was willing to take a chance. This led to the comeback of Lotto to New Hampshire in 1964. New Hampshire tried to create legitimacy for lotteries despite fears at that time that the games are gonna be corrupt and infiltrated by organized crime. By the 1980s, an avalanche of states followed this, and as soon as one state legalized lotteries, bordering states wasted no time to do the same. Multi-state lotteries, such as Powerball and Mega Millions, came into markets in the mid-80s as smaller states banded together to increase the size of jackpots and attract more players. The odds today may be in favor of lotteries, but for anyone buying a ticket, they have gotten steadily worse as the size of jackpots and the number of players has increased. For example, you have greater chances of getting struck by lightning or getting killed by a hippopotamus than winning one of the 2 lotteries at stake, Mega Millions or Powerball, which come in at approximately 1 in 300 million chance. If the chances are so rare, why are people still buying it? In one study, researchers highlighted the inequalities present in the US and noted that low-income players may consider lotteries to be a social equalizer, in which everyone has an equal chance to win in an otherwise rigged system. In another study conducted in Germany, researchers surveyed lottery players and found that even if the chances of winning are low, playing the lottery at least creates hope for material improvement and a higher social status that cannot be achieved through conventional channels. Is it really so ridiculous that a person laboring on a manufacturing line for 50 hours a week, making $20 an hour, would spend $10 a week on lottery tickets to, at least for a moment, entertain the dream of striking it rich? A millionaire choosing to spend 1/10 of their savings on a speedboat is arguably making a worse financial decision. The same could be said for an office worker making $100,000 salary, spending $20 each week to dine out. One of the main reasons behind it is the hundreds of ways we can spend our money in the modern monetary system. Widespread use of consumer debt, mortgages, credit cards, car loans made things worse. 401k plans launched in 1978. Investing software, offering essentially free trades to anyone, has been around for less than a decade. Our slow-to-adapt thinking systems are ill-prepared for making solid financial decisions in a rapidly changing world, and in hopes of getting rid of all their financial burdens and to live a life they dream of, people try their luck in lotteries. The chances of winning are negligible. Even after that, winning doesn't guarantee anything. Most lottery winners end up in disaster. Some even die. One of the $31 million lottery winners ended up broke and started living in a trailer. Another had his entire $30 million stash siphoned off by a woman who said she was writing a book about how people were taking advantage of him and became his financial advisor. He found out she had cleaned him out, hunted her down, and threatened to kill her, and was later murdered by her. So, what do you think? Are lottery tickets a harmless dream or a financial pitfall? Have you ever bought a lottery ticket? Tell us in the comments down below. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more such videos.